Hello and welcome to Animal Watch, and today we're talking wolf dogs and children.
For centuries, fairy tales have put the wolf and the child at odds. Whether it's the big bad wolf eating Red Riding Hood, to stories of children in India being picked off by local wolves. But is there any truth in this? Do wolves see children as prey, or is it the media's portrayal, completely unjustified? So today we speak to experts Tony Haighway of WolfWatchUK to find out his opinion, and I get to reunite with my dear white wolf Bosch. I also fly to Italy to meet with Wolfdog expert Jessica Pekerari of North American Wolfdogs to find out her opinion on children living with wolf dogs. Jessica breeds and socialises wolf dog puppies for placements in homes all over the world. And we meet a very special little girl called Marnie, who says that kids are safe with wolf dogs, and she'll tell you why, from her own first-hand experience. For centuries, the wolf has been demonised, accused of hunting and eating people, especially small children. Tales of children being snatched by wolves in India and children being dragged away while foraging in the forest centuries ago in medieval Europe. The Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale has played a huge part in the fears of both adults and children, always portraying the wolf as an evil, bloodthirsty, child-eating character. But is there any truth to these claims? And now that the pet market is full of wolf dogs, especially high-content wolf dogs, are children really in danger? Or perhaps these stories have seriously damaged an animal's reputation, quite the contrary to these claims of bloodthirsty predation. Today we explore the world of wolf dogs as pets, as they can legally be kept in the UK, some only 3 generations removed from the pure wolf, and find out if children are safe to own and care for these majestic beings. To do this, I have been invited to meet a very special little girl called Marnie, who has 2 wolf dogs as pets. She is only 8 years old and helps to feed, care for, groom and walk these giant animals. She is accompanied by her knowledgeable parents, Ash and Katie, who have taught her carefully in everything she needs to understand these beautiful creatures.
Well, today is a very exciting day because we're meeting some more extremely high content wolf dogs. But today we're asking the question, are they okay with kids? And when we say kids, we're talking about quite young kids. So I'm going to go and meet these 2 amazing wolf dogs, and there's a little girl that's part of their family, and we're going to see just how they get on with her.
When I arrive, the wolf dogs are in a large exercise field called Pawsome Paddock, owned by the family. Marnie greets me with her parents Ash and Katie. I enter in and it's immediately obvious to how powerful these wolf dogs are. They are huge, long-legged and heavy. Their character is virtually indistinguishable from a full-blood wolf, and they meet and examine me exactly like a full-blood wolf would, which is with great insistence and power. Imported from Mark Klemperer, these wolf dogs are known as North Aid Wolfdogs, and despite a high wolf content, they are multi-generational bottle-raised wolf dogs and completely legal to own in the UK.
This is a high content North American wolf dog, and if they're hand-raised, bottle-fed, then they can become quite tame, but they've still got quite a wild spirit, and you get bopped, you get knocked over, they like to nick things, steal things. He's very, very gentle here with the daughter, but he's been raised with them. They're so independent, they just do what they want, and They choose whether they want to be with you, and if they don't want to be with you, they just go away.
A wolf will always want to lick your face, smell your breath, and look into your eyes. This makes their greetings far more forcible than a dog, and one that they require to trust you more. This can result in bumped noses and chins, chewed ears, and a deeply sniffed crotch. I find it all very funny and I love it, but I am also aware that these are giant wolf dogs and ones that could knock a child flying. I am showed about by Marnie, and I can see just how trainable and responsive the wolf dogs are to her. They try and steal the camera lady's camera a few times by sneaking up behind her. And all the time they are cheeky to us. They are extremely gentle towards Marnie, who they seem to understand is one of them. And they must be softer with her and more respectful. We try a pack howl and the wolf dogs love it. I'm so interested in hearing about Marnie living with her wolf dogs, so we sit down to learn more from her and her parents.
I'm here with Kate, Ash and Marnie. And how old are you, Marnie?
8.
You're 8 years old. And tell me a little bit about your wolf dogs.
So we have 2 wolf dogs called Jet and Sully, and they're really tough dogs and they're really hard to look after because they get into your cupboard all the time.
So what is the reality of having a child with wolf dogs like this?
We never ever leave Marnie on her own with any of our dogs. We're always there to supervise. We've helped Marnie to understand how they are as dogs and how they're different, so that she has to respect their space. She has to listen to them when they're, if they give her a little grumble or something like that, that means, come away. It's a full-time job, really. When we're with Marnie and the dogs, Jet is quite cheeky and she'll like to have a nibble. Sully can get too affectionate and jump on her. And these are all things that we don't view as necessarily bad behaviour from them. That is part of their breed, and we have to respect that. We're not going to train that out of them, it's in their DNA.
It's more of a size problem, isn't it, more than anything?
It absolutely is.
Because when they stand up, they're the height of us, and
they
weigh
knock
50
me
kilos.
flat.
Yeah.
They like things that wriggle. You must give us some advice about how to behave if one of them knock her.
Not make too much noise, no flailing arms and things. Like Marnie does gymnastics, and sometimes we have to time it. We say to her first 30 minutes, it's just about walking around calmly.
Yeah.
Once they've calmed down, they start to respect her space as well. So it is really a two-way thing, but it's something that we work on a daily basis.
You can't go and get one of these dogs and just put it in your house and think it's a husky.
No.
Absolutely not.
And go upstairs and have a bath and
No.
leave your kids
100%.
downstairs.
No, not at all. One thing that we've learned is it is about communication with human and wolf dogs, and it is knowing your boundaries. And that goes both ways. They know they're cheeky, but they know the boundaries with Marnie. Me and Ashley get in the way if they get too playful and things like that.
Tell me what you've had to do with your life when it comes to holidays, going away. Since these high content wolf dogs came into your life, what do you get to do these days?
We've had to change everything. The whole dynamic of our life has completely changed. Jet came into our life, and within a few months it was very apparent she could never be left with anybody else because the bond was with us. We've had to obviously make our house secure. We've spent thousands of pounds on containment, fencing.
You've even built this?
This whole paddock was built around making a secure space for dogs. In terms of our family time, we can't go on holiday together anymore because there is nowhere where these dogs can go into a kennels. There's no one that could come and look after them. We wouldn't trust anyone with them. There aren't facilities out there that would be able to keep them safe, let alone understand their behaviour. So no family holidays together.
We can't even do full days out.
They'll just howl and howl and howl, will they?
They'd be all right if we took them out in the morning.
They go out in the mornings, don't they?
They'd settle, but if we were stayed past any 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they would.
And they're in
be
the back
kicking.
garden in a containment area.
Yeah, they've got quite a big containment, and they're separated
and
as
they're
well.
separated in case there's a falling out when you're not there.
And they're well exercised. You're talking 5 hours a day nearly, aren't you? Walking.
When these two pass on, and we don't really want to talk about it, because they will, would you get more, or would you go, I can't do this again because of the commitment?
No. I mean, we say no.
I think our circumstances have to change. We'd have to be in a bigger house, maybe have more land, which
and
we
you
want.
almost need volunteers, don't you?
If we can get to our plan, which is to have trusted people around these animals that know them, understand them, and we felt like we could trust people to look after them, then I would have them forever, because they're like nothing else that you'll ever experience.
Well, how would you integrate a baby, do you think, in with wolf dogs?
I think it's about trying to keep them involved, but having those boundaries, not over trusting them either, you know. I think it's about making sure that ultimately that your child is safe. Don't see them being affectionate and things like that immediately as being that they're going to be fine with the child. I think you always have to be, like you said before, one step ahead of them. I think it's about trying to share that time as well between the dogs and the children. That relationship has to continue all the time, and I think it's about, you know, being able to divide your time.
I mean,
if anyone said to me they were going to have a high content and have a baby, I'd just be like,
no,
do it.
They have got a gentle, soft side to them. They're not, you know, this big bad wolf that everyone makes out.
They're not.
They've just got wild behaviour.
They have, and you've got to respect that. What I would say as well, they're so different, Jet and Sully.
He's been very biddable today.
Yeah.
She's been more aloof.
Yeah.
And naughty.
Yeah,
Yes.
she is.
And the
So-
brother and sister.
Yeah. In the same litter, you can get very, very different ones.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
They look amazing. They're absolutely not for everyone.
We couldn't have wolf dogs if we didn't have this.
You've got to put a lot of money into it.
A lot of money. I mean, to feed them, you know, and the insurance is a month. Everything is done around the dogs, and we love it. We wouldn't have it any other way.
The wolf parks in the UK are constantly phoned up by people saying, "Can you take my wolf dog?"
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand. So we only want responsible people.
Absolutely.
To ever have these beautiful animals.
Yeah.
So there you go. You heard it here.
My initial thoughts after meeting the wolf dogs Marnie was that her parents were absolutely exceptional. They had changed their lives to make sure the wolf dogs were looked after correctly, and I didn't have a shadow of a doubt that Marnie was living in an extremely safe environment. The only real danger here was sheer size and excitability, but her parents made sure that Marnie was never alone in the wolf dog's company. The Hindley family were absolutely exceptional, but my fear was this family is 1 in a million, and a huge majority of the world's population absolutely is not brilliant like they are. Many people taking on huge wolf dogs like this will not be as cautious, hands-on and careful as this family. It's not just the excitability and power of these wolf dogs, it's the land and environment they need to exist. It's resource guarding, winter seasonal aggression, socialisation with strangers and dogs while on walks, and timidness in public. These wolf dogs require something far more from the families owning one. Far more than any normal dog needs. Accidents never happen because of the dog. It's neglect and bad ownership. So I decided to pop over to speak to the wonderful Jessica Pekerari in Italy, a highly experienced wolf dog breeder who socialises wolf dogs for families all over the world and makes sure to only place them with exceptional homes. This is what she had to say about wolf dogs living with kids.
If I had to sold one of my puppies to a family with very little kids, I am not agree totally. Because if I don't trust very well in the person, in the family, and they can't really understand all the signal that they can give to you, you have to learn and understand very, very well what they think, what is their behavior, because their behavior can change.
What would you say would be the minimum age where parents...
The minimum age, I think, is 5.
When they're little, kids tend to just grab and pull.
Yes, that's true, but when they are little, when they are babies, they like to also to do that. I saw a lot of times that they like to interact with the kids like kids, because they are babies like them when they are, 2, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months old, so they like to play with the kids. They can have their period during the year. They can go in the winter syndrome. They can go in the hunting mentality.
Do you think small kids ignite the excitement of a small animal?
They can. You can have very good animals she's not good with the kids, so I know her. I know she doesn't like kids, but he loves kids, and he likes kids too.
Yes.
So I can bring them with the kids. He has a very big instinct of hunt, because he will like to hunt too much. But with the kid, he's extraordinarily good. He's very patient. He's okay. He likes to be pet by them. Maybe it's his mission also in the life, because I think some of them are just special and have a big heart and have to teach to us something.
Yeah. I know there are people out there that are amazing, but then there's other people, I fear, just won't think. So they might pop out of the room and they've not worked hard enough on the child with the wolf dog, and they leave it in a position and it's not safe. So I believe that kids of a certain age can be with them as long as the parents are good parents and everything has been done.
Jessica's websites can be found here, but we will be publishing our full trip with her in the next Animal Watch episode. Instagram at North American Wolfdog and Facebook North American Wolfdog EU. It was clear that Jessica was extremely cautious with her placement of her wolf dogs and expressed that it was not because the animals were dangerous, but because most people simply are not up to the job. These animals can behave more wolf than dog, and it simply is nothing like keeping an easy dog breed such as a golden retriever or a spaniel. Wolf dogs behave quite differently to dogs and require an extreme commitment, which most people are unable to give. This means that hundreds of unsocialised and mistreated wolf dogs are handed into rescues all over the world, some sadly at the point of no return and have to be euthanised. Jessica agreed with me that children can have wolf dogs, but it must be under the strict guidance of an exceptional family and team like Marnie's family, or it potentially could be unsafe for them. But the same goes for any large dog that has been unsocialised, untrained and neglected. It's not the breed, but the upbringing that shapes the end product. Finally, I headed to wolf rescue WolfWatchUK in Shropshire, England, to meet my dear friend Tony Haighway. In Wolf Maddie's last days at age 18, when she was weak with cancer, my son Kai walked her in the woods within the sanctuary's boundaries under full adult supervision. It was exceptional circumstances as Maddie, at that point in her life, was not powerful anymore and acted like an extremely tame old dog. It was a great opportunity for a child like mine to get up close with a wolf he would otherwise not have been allowed to. It needs to be noted that WolfWatchUK has a strict policy on no children with their younger wolves. Did this mean that Tony would be against the idea of homing a high-content wolf dog to a family with kids? But before we sat down to chat, I was excited to be reunited with White Wolf Bosch, who I totally adore, and I think the feeling was mutual. I had some fun and cuddles with Bosch before sitting down for a chat with Tony, whose experience lies mainly with full-blood wolves and not wolf dogs. But I was interested in his opinion, as the sanctuary has a policy on no under 18s meeting their wolves.
Well, Tony, it's lovely to see Bosch again after it's been a year. And he's got, look, he's trying to nip my tree. He got my pocket. He's such a monkey. Today I want to talk in particular about children because I've been to various wolf sanctuaries in the UK, and all of these places, they have days where you can go and meet wolves, and they have a policy in place that kids aren't allowed.
It's to do with size, I think. Certain behaviour by children, they move around very quickly, they make squeaky noises. Some of it provokes the wrong reaction in the wolf or wolf dog.
So humans with wolf dogs don't have control. They need to coexist and they need to understand what is required to have one in your home.
Wolves don't love human beings naturally. They naturally avoid human beings because of what's happened in the past. They've got a very strong flight instinct. To just come along and take a domestic breed and cross it with a wolf and expect that you can have those same behaviour traits as you would do with your pet animal is unrealistic.
Bosch is a wolf, but when we greet him, it's a hard greeting. Sometimes you get smashed in the chin, smashed in the nose. They do it because that's their way of greeting.
The only reason you've got that from Bosch is because the incredible amount of socialisation. You need to have that animal from whence it was in the region of, when it opens its eyes, when it's in the region of 14 days old, and it needs to be exposed to all sorts of situations that our dogs are exposed to at that early age. If it's going to be with children, it needs to have lots of exposure to that child or children in general. Lots of exposure to things like TVs, lots of exposure to noises of cars, doors shutting, slamming, people shouting, all the things that you'd expect to go on in a normal household, so that it grows up with the expectation that none of these things have actually caused it harm. Because there's still a very strong flight instinct in the animal, or there's still a very strong, I need to sort of bite and then get away. It's defensive aggression that you've got to worry about, because wolves aren't naturally aggressive. There are very few cases where serious injuries or fatalities have been caused by wolves in the wild. But if you look at America, where wolf dogs have been very big business for many, many years, there are many, many recordings of children being injured and also injuries involving adults. The evidence is there. So if you're thinking of buying one, take all this into account beforehand. Look at the risk factor. It's a very serious consideration. The length of a life of a wolf dog is probably in the region of about 14 years.
Yeah, people don't realise that they do live a long time. When you see big dogs that die young, the ones with the gigantogene, they have a short lifespan. The wolf dogs, they're really rather healthy. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about it. That's the thing I love. It's bringing the naturalness back into a dog.
Very much so.
But as you're saying, yes, it's a massive life commitment. So affectionate. But as I'm saying, for a little kid, they will get absolutely flattened by this. Our domesticated dog, you can go, oi, no. And a lot of them will go, uh-oh, drop whatever it is they've stolen. Wolves very rarely give back something they've stolen.
Often possession is, if I've got it, it's mine. It's very difficult to sort of take a piece of meat or whatever off an animal that doesn't want to give it up.
And if you had a little 4-year-old and the 4-year-old decides to go and touch a wolf dog that's got a massive, massive bone, you're asking for trouble. Parents have to be the ones that interact with them first and foremost. The kids are there under absolute supervision.
If you're going to have one of these animals, then first of all, buy one off a very reputable breeder and get it checked, get it embarked, and then secondly, find out what socialisations it's been exposed to. But most of all, take into account everything that we've said. Ask yourself the question, why do I really want one? What is it I'm really looking for? If you're thinking of having a wolf dog, then why not try or speak to people who own Malamutes, Eskimo dogs, or Huskies.
If I had a wolf sanctuary like you, Tony, a wolf rescue, I would have to put my life on hold. I'd have to live here all the time, and I guess that's pretty much what you do, don't you?
It's changed my life completely.
WolfWatchUK's website can be found here if you would like to visit or support the amazing work that they do. wolfwatch.uk. They also have an active Instagram and Facebook account at WolfWatchUK. Tony and I agreed that these beautiful animals need a specialist home. We would hate the wrong person to take on a sensitive animal such as a wolf dog and ruin its character. Their reputation should be a good one, as they are gentle, loving creatures, and I respect them for their independence and gregariousness. Most people could not cope with their adult-like behaviour. They are not eternal puppies like dogs, but require equal respect from you, their humans. Most families would not be able to give them what they need. But if you are a family like Marnie's, I would have great faith in you. Us humans ruin dogs' reputations by raising them incorrectly, not socialising them and turning them into aggressive loners that can be dangerous. Then the breed gets a bad reputation. This is the same for many large dog breeds the world over. If you have children and are watching this episode, as you have been thinking about obtaining a wolf dog, I want you to ask yourself some serious questions. Do you have a gigantic garden that can be enclosed with an unclimbable fence, just like Jessica and Marnie's family have? Can you socialise your wolf dog the way Jessica socialises her wolf dogs, taking them everywhere with you in order to get them over their natural cautiousness? Can you deal with possessiveness and resource guarding, as wolf dogs will claim items around the home, and it's not as simple as removing a toy from a dog? Can you promise to guide your children into being kind and gentle with the wolf dogs, so they do not see children as forms of torture? It's a two-way street, and animals should not be required to put up with fur being pulled and ridden like a horse. Can you forego many of your holidays for the rest of your wolf dog's life, as most wolf dogs will not be kennelled with strange people? Can you put up with destruction to your house and belongings? Can you keep your wolf dogs safe from other loose dogs who may test their boundaries? Can you give them company 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Will you never leave your child alone with the wolf dog? If you answered no to any of the above questions, I would rethink your dream and perhaps replace it with an easier dog breed. The next Animal Watch episode, we will be flying to the exquisite Tuscany to talk about raising and socialising of wolf dogs with Jessica Pekerari of North American Wolfdogs. In this episode, we will explore more of what it takes to raise an exceptional wolf dog. But in the meantime, back to Marnie and her parents for an appropriate howling send-off.
What's your handle for your Instagram?
What is it called?
Walking with the wolf dog.
Walking with Wolfdogs.
Walking with Wolfdogs. I'll write that underneath. And if you enjoyed this episode of Animal Watch, then give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel by clicking the button in the bottom hand corner. And be sure to tune in every week where we'll be talking wolves, dogs, animal rescue and conservation. Bye for now. Woo!